bro.
Yeah, good to
Grab a
see
seat.
you.
Grab a seat. Okay.
Cheers.
Straight from work.
Yep. Daily grind.
Firstly, I want you to sort of introduce yourself. Like a lot of people don't know who you are, obviously.
Yeah. My name's Ty, and I'm from the Sunny Coast originally. I'm a chippy, and
You play a bit of footy.
yeah, play some footy. Yeah.
We tried this was it 2 years ago? Or a
Yeah.
year ago?
I think it was like a year ago. Yeah.
Yeah, so run of the game, but unfortunately it didn't work out the way I sort of planned.
Yeah.
I think the biggest reason I sort of chat about this separately as well is that I think when you're trying to do like a proper, I guess, doco, you've got to do a lot of stuff away from the actual interview itself,
Yeah.
and timing-wise it just wasn't possible. So what I love about podcasts is that you can just shoot it, edit it,
raw.
and get it out.
Yeah.
So you come straight from work.
Yeah. Every day, mate.
Yeah. So how do you sort of like balance actually? We want to chat about that to start off with. How long have you been a chippy for?
So I've been a chippy since probably since I was in year 8. So my dad always brought me up to work hard, obviously, and he just would bring me to work in the school holidays and just be introduce me to it. And he'd always tell me though, don't be a chippy. It's too hard. It's too hard on your body. You won't last long. But then I got to maybe year 11 or 12, and I kind of didn't really know what I was going to do. And Dad kind of just said, how about you just start your school-based apprenticeship and just see how it goes. And yeah, I haven't really looked back since. So it's probably been maybe 6 years. 5 years. I've been qualified for 3 years now, 2 or 3 years.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So you're qualified.
Yeah, I've been qualified. Yeah, so on the big blocks, I guess.
That's pretty cool. That's probably the thing is trying to manage. I guess the sport you're really passionate about, but also trying to.
Yeah. So I've got at the moment, my boss is a legend. Whenever I have to leave for footy, or whenever I get injured.
Yeah.
I have to go to the physio. He always he's just yeah, whatever. He knows footy kind of comes first, and it's just the way right now I'm so happy with how work's going, because he just sits back and just when I come to work he's happy, and then I always work hard obviously, and then I go gym before work every day, which is tough, but I think I'm in a bit of a rhythm now where it doesn't really affect me. It's just the norm.
Yeah, what I want to sort of chat about actually. We're talking about hard work. If your phone alright?
Yeah, survived.
Beauty of live TV.
Yeah.
Is that I really noticed a difference in your kicking game this year?
Yeah, that was something. Last year I feel I just put a lot of pressure on myself. I don't know if it was to do with different coaching or different players that I played with, but last year I just would overthink every single kick and just struggle. And then I do get to training early every day, every training session, and get a few kicks in, and me and Stretch usually have a bit of a kick with each other, and yeah, I just am more comfortable with how I'm kicking this year, and don't really try. Last year I tried to change my style and try to kick a bit more square, but yeah, this year I've just gone back to my natural ways and just kicked with confidence, and it's just a lot better.
Obviously, you're not the go-to kicker at the moment, but just when you have sort of
stepped up, yeah.
You've stepped up.
Yeah.
The game on the weekend in particular, Robbie scored on that first try in the first half. That kick on the sidelines. That was cool, right?
Yeah, no way I would have done that last year. Yeah, it would have been.
It's good for my highlight reel.
Yeah.
And yours as well.
Yeah. It was sick.
But I guess you play within the QPR here with South, but this show, Boarding Pass, is really about people that travel for rugby or any type of sport for that matter.
Yeah.
And you had the opportunity to actually go play at Dubai Sevens last year.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah.
So tell me how that all came about.
So it kind of came about a bit weird. So Gavin Wood played at South last year?
Oh yeah, Gav.
Yeah, and he was meant to go. It was his team from maybe a year or two ago.
Yeah.
And then
they're Canadian, aren't they?
Yeah, they're Canadian, but they're an invitational.
Okay.
So the way it works is they just can kind of get players. They have a stock group of Canadians, maybe 4.
Yeah.
And then they have Scottish boys from the UK, and then they took 2 Aussies me and Chris Watkins. He did a bit at South last year.
Okay.
He was a wing fullback. Yeah. He it was actually good that I knew him, to be fair. Like,
Yeah.
like I messaged him before we went over and was like, oh, like, make sure, like, you got a room for me and we get to stay together, like, kind of thing. But they ended up splitting us up, and it was actually, like, the experience in itself was, like, really eye-opening, yeah.
Yeah. So like, what did you when you say eye-opening? What do you mean by that?
Like, so I'd never really gone overseas to play in a team with, like, full of different people from different countries. So I
Yeah.
didn't really know, like, what to expect and, like, what it was like, what their culture's like and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But, like, going over there, I just realised everyone's the same and everyone, like, just loves to play footy and loves to have a good time and, like, make mates. Like, if you think about it, like, the footy community, like, most people are the same and you've always got something in common, like, always something to talk about, like,
Yeah.
or, like, one of the boys was in the MLR, like, the guy that I stayed with in my room, James O'Neill, he actually plays in the MLR for Toronto, so I just picked his brain about that kind of stuff, and then he asked me about, like, how footy was back here, and then, yeah, we obviously, like, first night we flew in, we like, had, like, it was kind of like a get-together thing, so we went to, like, there's a club over there called Barasti, like, yeah, it's like, but it wasn't really, like, that kind of, like, a huge night.
Yeah.
It wasn't a huge night because it wasn't, like, a weekend or anything. Like, I think our coach probably worked it out like that. So we, like, just went there and, like,
Sensible.
yeah, we were pretty sensible and played a few, like, games, and then, like, that was, like, the best way to get to know each other, to be honest. Like, we played games where you had to, like, get to know each other. Yeah, it was a lot easier than what I thought. Like, going over there, I was like, oh, like, I'm not an outgoing kind of person. Like, I'm a bit shy and, like, keep to myself. And, like, yeah, I was, like, really, like, scared going over there, and then
Is it your, like, outside of rugby? Is this your first time actually travelling by yourself overseas?
So, like, when I was 10, I flew, I think it was 10 or 11, I flew to Fiji to meet my dad, but, like, it was just the plane from Australia to Fiji. But, like, when I was 10, I was, like, so scared, eh?
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's my first time, like, travelling properly by myself, and, yeah.
So that's the thing. You know, you got to realise is that it's a big experience outside of, like, the game of rugby itself. It's the opportunity to travel.
Yeah, like, yeah, it was, and it was free, like,
Yeah.
they just, so, like, going back to the first question where you said, like, how did it come across, he kind of just, like, messaged me on WhatsApp and was, like, asked for, like, my CV.
Yeah.
And then, like, I didn't really have any sevens videos because I'd only really played, like Bris Vegas and, like, all that kind of stuff. There wasn't really Queensland that year before. And then I just sent him my CV, and he was like, yeah, happy. And then he obviously probably asked Gav if I was any good.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, he just messaged me and said, like, oh, this is what we offer, like, we'll get you some flights and accommodation. You just pay your own way when you're over there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he, like, shouted us to dinner and that over there. So it was pretty, like, I was like, yeah, can't say no to this, like.
Well, that's the thing. It's a good experience. Like, how was the tournament, like, itself?
It was tough, but, like, I'm trying to compare it to something. It was kind of like the same as playing here. Like, I feel like the quality wasn't higher to like, put it in a way, but, like, you're playing with people you don't know.
Yeah.
So the combos are a bit, like, off, and it's a bit hard to link up, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we only had, like, 4 days to get ready.
Yeah.
So, like, in that sense, it was hard, but I feel like if we maybe took our South team over, our South Sevens team over, we'd go pretty well because we'd been playing together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was teams of just, like, people, like, seemed to be put together.
Well, that's the thing is, you know, I think it is a case of, like, a lot of these teams are just put together.
Yeah.
But, you know, preparing for something like that, would you do it again?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, if they asked me to go again this year, I'd 100% say yeah.
So, you know, what about the experiences? So, like, obviously you sort of, like, talked about some key points there that you really enjoyed, like, outside of, you know, the game itself. Like, what other experience that you sort of had that you really enjoyed?
So, like, we obviously had to, like, get a few training sessions in.
Yeah.
Then we had 1 day off, and went and saw, like, the Burj Khalifa and the massive, like, mall.
Yeah.
So we did, like, a trip together.
Yeah.
All got on, like, they have these big trams there. I don't know, I forget what they call them, but they're, like, they're fast, and they, like, fly around the whole, like, Dubai pretty much. They drive, like, on these rails. And we just jumped on that, went in there, and then like all hung out there for the day. And they got this massive like aquarium in there,
Yeah.
just full of like all different types of fish. And like there was this big water show, and apparently it costs like 20 grand every time they turn it on.
Okay.
And it starts at 5 and goes to like 9 and goes like every half an hour. So it just shows how much money was actually like in the country itself.
Yeah.
And just like, yeah, like seeing like bare desert was weird. Like you literally drove, to get to the field, you drove like out of just like all these sky rises, and then 1 minute they just stopped and it was just straight desert. And you were just like, what the hell? Yeah, and there was just like nothing bare.
Something like in the movies.
Yeah, like pretty much in the movies, yeah. And then like you drove for a bit, and then you just got to this huge stadium with like, I think it was like 8 fields on it. It was crazy, eh? Sick.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So, obviously you're playing in a 15 game.
Yeah.
What sort of attracted you to, or why do you enjoy playing sevens?
I guess it was always like a thing from school. Like at school, I was in like they picked like a red and white Queensland Sevens in my last year of school. So I kind of did that, and then I went to the league for a few years, so I didn't really play sevens then. But then I like came back, and my first like kind of thing at union was like I came down here and played with Jacob and Lukey Samoa.
Yeah, I was here when the first time I really sort of saw your film, Jim.
Yeah.
I was in that first Bris Vegas.
Yeah,
seven.
Bris Vegas, yeah. And I kind of just jumped in there and just had a bit of a run around again, and then I was like, oh, I think I'm going to play union again, and then ended up moving down to South.
So so we sort of talk about I guess your experience coming from the league back to rugby, because you played a bit of rugby before you went to league, is that right?
Yeah.
So like, why rugby over league? Like what is it?
Oh, for me it was like, so when I played league, I played like back row, front row, which is more of like a harder, like tighter position. And then I've come back to union where I play like fullback, wing, bit of centre if I have to. But like it's just like the different roles and the different it's just a lot more freedom in union. I just enjoyed it a lot more. Like there might be a few more opportunities in league, which everyone would know. Like I guess it's not really, union's not very strong in Australia at this point. But I just I got to a point, like I spoke to my dad and I was like, I'm just not really enjoying league. Like I had all the opportunities, like I had contracts, but Dad and I were just like, well, if you're not enjoying it, like what's the point of like playing something you're not going to like be 100% at? And I was like, yeah, okay. And then I just went back and had a crack at union.
Where did so obviously you weren't enjoying league.
Yeah.
What connected you? I mean, obviously there's a connection that you had with South. What made you sort of like stay with South? Because you probably had other opportunities to go to other clubs.
Yeah, so like I don't know, when I first went there, so the first time I ever like heard of South was Todd, actually, like when I was at school, called me up and was like, oh, can you come down to it was like an open day kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I drove down. That was before I went like to league, and I came down and like saw the club, and I was like, yeah, it's pretty nice, like pretty cool. So I kind of had Todd's contact from there already.
Yeah.
And then I went to South, and like I was gonna, after the first year I wasn't very successful, so I was like gonna look somewhere else, and I was like, oh no, like the people at South is like it's like a little family, really. Like it's just like everyone is so welcoming. Like you could legit talk to like from 6th grade to like 1st grade, everyone is mates. Like you just go up to anyone, talk, like you could probably ask them for a lift to like the other side of Brizzy, and they'd be like, yeah, for sure. Like it's just the way like the club is like. Well, we went through a bit of a tough patch like last year and the year before, where we weren't winning many games in 1st grade, and I feel like that was hard for like a lot of boys and a lot of people around the club. But like everyone kind of like is so tight there that it just like everyone's stuck at it, and like not many people have really left, even though we're like in that, like we were struggling. And then like I guess this year it's all just come into like fruition.
Yeah, that's the thing is it's a lot better. I don't know. I think we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah, it's just a lot. Yeah, like the vibes are just a bit like they're just real high at the moment. Like everyone's kind of just
I mean, we're still in
happy.
a race to to make it to the finals, so that's saying something.
Yeah, we'd have to get some wins, like some wins to go our way, but
Well,
yeah,
that's
I
the
guess
thing,
there's a sniff there. If
well,
there's
that's the thing. Like, I know we're relying on other clubs
Yeah.
winning, and other clubs losing, and it's sort of out of our hands. But
Yeah.
the fact that you're in that position,
yeah,
because it's been a pretty competitive season this year across the
I
board.
feel like
across the board.
like anyone
crazy.
anyone could probably beat anyone this year. Like
Yeah.
it was like shows like we beat East and they're like top of the table, and then they beat West who beat us the week before.
Yeah.
Like it's just it's just like crazy like that this year. Like anyone on their day is going to beat the other team. So
Like, where do you sort of see, like, obviously, back end of the year? Like, what are you hoping to, depending what happens? Like, we're not saying if we make it to the finals, that's great.
Yeah,
But,
if it doesn't.
What are your plans for next year? You're going to sort of come back and.
I want to play again. I haven't really talked to Garrick or anything yet, but I also do want to go home for a bit to Sunny Coast, and I was looking at some opportunities overseas as well.
Yeah.
But nothing's really arisen properly yet. I've thrown a few baits out. And
You don't have to tell me.
No.
I thought you just asked the question.
No, yeah. I've been trying to get overseas, whether it's this year or next year.
Yeah.
But
You've been pretty open about that. By the sound of it.
yeah, I've been pretty open. Like I said, I've spoken to Garrick about it. That's something that I want to do.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I'm kind of a bit of a laid back person like that. But yeah, I'm pretty keen properly to actually just rip into sevens and have a bit of fun, because that's it's good
It's your
fun
bread and
seven.
butter.
Yeah,
Well,
that's what I like.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
more
that's the
a
thing is,
sevens player.
it's probably where I sort of first saw you, and saw like you said, it's an exciting brand of rugby.
Yeah.
And you definitely, know how to play that game as well. So
Yeah.
is it having that opportunity to travel to Dubai? Is that what sort of created that itch?
Yeah.
Work overseas.
Yeah, that was literally I landed from Dubai and I called my dad and I was like, I want to go overseas and play footy. All these people are so welcoming, such good fun. I had made so many mates in such a short period of time. One of the boys from Canada, I still Jeff. I still talk to him every day.
Yeah.
We talk every day, and I didn't know him from a bar of soap before we played. We didn't even play in the same team. Our Canadian irregulars had a social team, and then they had a pro team.
Yeah.
And the social team just kind of got on the piss the whole time and just played there's a social division, and they just played in that, and they just had fun. They just went to Dubai and have fun. And I made mates for life just from one little comp.
That's the thing. I think what I love about rugby is you have those experiences, the opportunity to travel, but also make lifelong friends from around the world.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Would you play in America?
Yeah, I would play in America, but it's kind of one of those things. I just would play anywhere. I just want to use my skills, I guess, to travel and see different places and meet different people.
Do you feel like that's obviously money wise? And again, I sort of chatted to Nat about this. Is that money wise, the league has a real point of difference, but if you're looking at it from a experience perspective, what you get with rugby union is a lot different.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot more opportunities overseas for union than there is for league. But if you're going to stay in Australia, there's more opportunities for league. But yeah, union is one of those things where it's played in most countries around the world. Whereas I don't know how big league is in France to use for an example, or Spain, or I don't even think they would even play it there.
Yeah, so that's probably the thing. As exciting as league is, and as much as I enjoy the league, I think when you talk about global game, it's union's kind of it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, bro, it's a kind of a short one. I want to talk a bit longer, but it's just more about a quick conversation. Sort of chat about your time in Dubai.
Yeah.
Sounds like you had a blast.
Yeah, it was good fun. The actually probably the best part, which I haven't really talked about, was on the last day.
Yeah.
They get all these DJs.
Okay.
And they all the back stadiums, they like cut them off and they put DJs up,
Yep.
and it's just like a massive festival.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's
I think I saw one of
crazy.
your stories.
Yeah, it's crazy. And that was like good fun. Like the Bond Boys were over there as well.
Yep, yep.
So like
Oh
I'm
yeah,
good.
because they travelled there as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm good mates with Rian, so I like met up with Rian and we had a few drinks and like we had a bit of a party. Like it was, that part was like, and you meet people like, because you're pissed, you're just talking to like
Some random
anyone,
shit.
like you're just talking to people from all around the world, and it's it was really eye opening and
It's a
so
good
much fun.
experience.
Yeah, so much
Tell
fun.
the people, you know.
Yeah.
Get him over there.
Yeah,
Sweet.
get me out of here.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.